Going to make a fluffy Victoria sponge. I've got my perforated tray lined with a reusable silicone paper. Going to start scaling the butter, just setting this to 0. I'm going to use 350 grams of fat, but 150 will be stork vegetable fat, and 200 grams will be unsalted butter. If you're wondering why, it's simple. I found that this vegetable fat aerates and just gives a really fluffy texture rather than a heavy, given by the amount of butter if you use just butter. But if you prefer a more dense type of sponge, then you can definitely use butter only. Just going to now top up to 350. Good. Now, in regards to the vanilla, I've got 2 options. I can go for vanilla sugar, or I can go for clear essence, whichever works better for you. I really like the vanilla, the flavored vanilla sugar, but this time I'm going to use some essence. So I'm going to put some of that vanilla essence in here. Oh, it seems that I'm missing a little bit of butter in here. And I'm going to aerate. I want to make this butter light and fluffy, and then I'm going to add the sugar and bit more with the sugar. Okay, that's just enough. I'm going to transfer the bowl onto the scale, set it to 0, and going to add 300 grams of sugar. I want my sponge to be nice but not super sweet, so I will just reduce a little bit the amount of sugar. Oh gosh. Good. So 300 grams of sugar, and I'm going to leave this to bit for a few good minutes so that it turns up nicely aerated and the sugar starts not showing, but rather than just looking more like it's fully incorporated. So my butter is now light and fluffy. Sugar is very hard to see the sugar through, so it got nicely incorporated. So I'm going to add the eggs and gently stir them in. I've got 400 grams of eggs, so I want this to be lighter. So but not so sweet. So I decreased the amount of sugar. I've increased the amount of eggs. And I'm going to scale to 350 grams of flour. Flour is pre-sifted. Obviously my oven is hot, 170 degrees, and my baking tray is ready on the side. Very important to have all those prepared before you start mixing your sponge. Again, scraping the sides. I'm going to add the flour. And then just gently incorporate. I don't want to develop too much gluten, so I have to be quite careful with the mixing. I'm going to allow it to mix for like half a minute. Then I will scrape again. Going to mix a little bit firmer with a high speed for literally 10 to 15 seconds. Yeah. And then I'll double check to make sure it's all evenly incorporated. Scrape the sides and transfer into my baking tray. Baking time should be 25 minutes at 165, 170 degrees. But I'm going to set it to 20 minutes and then see how it looks like. And then, as I said, it usually takes 25 minutes, but don't want to over bake it. Trying to level. That's obviously going to level under the temperature, but I just want to make sure that I don't have a big block in the center and thin edges. Okay, that's going to go in the oven now. So sponge is ready. I'm going to get it out from the oven. To check for doneness, all I have to do is just to press with my finger, and if it springs back, it doesn't leave any marks, then it's done. I know for sure. Just going to get another rack and transfer the sponge. Just going to make sure that it gets easy away from the tray. Just going to transfer it into here. Obviously it's super hot, so if I want to kind of play around and see how it looks on the bottom, I can use another rack and then gently peel the reusable parchment, because obviously it's quite hot. Yeah. So I can just leave this on the side, just put the other rack and turn it. So it kind of turns up leveled. There is no need for trimming or anything. It is about 1 inch wide. Just perfect for cutting and decorating when it gets cooled.